Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is an Asian movie collection update video. I got some physical media here to show you, mostly DVDs, but we do have some Blu-rays as well, actually a few big-time Blu-ray purchases here. And yeah, we got a nice variety of different countries. So if you're interested in, I guess, just looking through my collection, this is like the 71st video in this playlist, or something like that. There's been 70 collection videos that I've done over the past 5.5 years. So I'll include a link to the playlist in the description box below. And early on, I segregated it by country of origin. So you could see in the playlist, the different movies that I have by country of origin. And then after that, I just did a bunch of addendums for everything together. So yeah, if you want some recommendations, it's a good playlist to go through. And yeah, a lot of my all-time favorite movies are showcased in this collection. So let's get started here. All right, let's start with the big one, right off the bat. I actually bought this last year, and I'm so far behind in these collection videos that I don't even think I showed it to anybody, but everybody knows about this one, right? This is the Criterion Bruce Lee set. It's Bruce Lee, his greatest hits. And this is the first time I've been able to watch these movies on Blu-ray, which was nice, because a lot of times back in the day there were some real dodgy releases of these Bruce Lee movies, but this was definitely a nice upgrade for me personally. So we got The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death. Yes, so these are all Blu-rays. You get, I'm going to have to skip a few of these technical aspects. You get a restoration of the 99-minute theatrical version of Enter the Dragon, a restoration of the 102-minute special edition of Enter the Dragon, alternate soundtracks. You get the original dub tracks as well as the original language. 6 audio commentaries. I actually have not listened to the audio commentaries yet. I'm definitely going to listen to those. High definition presentation, A Game of Death 2. New interviews in all 5 films. A new program with English language dubbing. A bunch of interviews. A documentary about the making of Enter the Dragon. Multiple programs and documentaries about Lee's life and philosophies. Yes, there's a bunch of stuff in this. And I like the coloring of the package too. If you're interested in my thoughts on these movies, I know we reviewed Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, and Enter the Dragon on That Fat Samurai Guy's channel. So just go to his YouTube channel and just search those movies, and the videos will come right up for you. They were like panel discussions, basically, with a bunch of people. But you open it up. I like yellow. I think the color yellow needs to be used more often in a lot of different things in life. It's a very vibrant color, which I quite enjoy. Yeah, I like the artwork in this. Some people complained, I think, about the packaging itself, because it's not like a hard case. You know what I mean? It's kind of a little bit flimsy in terms of the packaging on it. But I baby my stuff, so I'm not really worried about that. And then inside you end up getting the movies, which I won't show in case they fall out. But yeah, I'm very happy with this purchase, and I still have some of it to chew through. And there's also this get this little almost newspaper type booklet with it as well, with some stuff inside that I've read part of. It's good. I like this release. It was nice to watch those on Blu-ray, definitely. Alright, let's keep moving. Here's one that's obscure. Very obscure. Whatever You Want. Whatever You Want. Now, I bought this, I believe, on Yes Asia. And it's a Region 3 DVD. It's got kind of a thin case. And this one, it was actually surprisingly funny. It's from 1994. It's a comedy, a Hong Kong comedy. You get an illegitimate daughter played by Anita Yuen, who I love, inadvertently finds a pearl with a genie in it played by Michael Wong. So we get Michael Wong as a genie, kind of like Aladdin. And it's a pretty fun, briskly paced comedy, kind of with some romance in it. There's a scene in a movie theater that makes fun of pretentious art films, which I found to be quite amusing. And I like pretentious art films, too, at least if they're good. It's pretty funny. It was directed by Wong Jing, which can get pretty dodgy, but he did a good job in this. And you get Christy Chung and Jordan Chan in supporting roles. So this is a really good cast in this, a fun, energetic cast. And Anita Yuen is just so charming. I need to try to find even more stuff with her, because every time I see her in a movie, I really like her. So I recommend this. This DVD there's a little bit of a skipping problem near the second half, but I was able to get through it. But, yeah, check this out if you can find it somewhere. Alright, so the Bruce Lee set was a US release. Whatever You Want was a Hong Kong release, Region 3, and then we get another US release. The Woman Knight of Mirror Lake. I just reviewed this not too long ago, like a month ago. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack from the US. And from director Herman Yao, and he's a very good director. And it's a thrilling story of one woman who dared to fight for her ideals, even in the face of certain death. And it's set in the 19th century, late 19th century. And this is actually a Funimation release, I think. But, yeah, you don't really get a whole lot of special features in this, I don't believe. No. But this is a good film. Check out my review. It's worth watching if you like action flicks. It's got a few really good fight scenes in it, and it's the story's actually good in this one too. It's not quite as propagandistic as some other films that you might see from that area. So yes, I do recommend this as well. Now this one I bought before they just announced an upgrade release, but we got Duel to the Death. This is the DVD release of that one, and I bought it. I reviewed this a few months ago, or like earlier in the year. This is a must-watch action flick. It's really good. Get the best swordsmen of China and Japan have made it a historical ritual to meet every 10 years for a showdown of fighting skills and powers. And there's some kind of strings being pulled behind the scenes by some people. And this is just I reviewed it. Just watch my review. Spoiler free. It's really good. And this is going to get an upgrade to Blu-ray later this year. I don't know I forgot who's going to release it, but I will definitely be picking that up. Because the DVD was nice to have, but this is one that's so good I would upgrade to get the Blu-ray. No special features on this. It's a Region 1. So you'll probably want to wait until the Blu-ray comes out or pre-order it and watch it then. It's worth a blind buy. It's awesome. I mean, here's one that I reviewed again recently. Drink, Drank, Drunk. And this is one that kind of like, what was the other one I reviewed recently? The Race Initial D. It didn't hold up quite as well as I remember, kind of like this one. But this is still a fun little rom-com. It's a romantic comedy. You get directed by Derek Yee, who I should probably do some type of a list for him, because he's made some good stuff. And you get Miriam Young in this. Daniel Wu is in it. So the cast really kind of sell this. And it's very conventional romantic comedy. But it works. It works. This is the Region 1 release. A Tai Sing release. These are really obscure nowadays. But yeah, if you want a decent rom-com, I would recommend it. Again, check out my review. Yeah, the next two I've also reviewed. We got Paradox, Blu-ray and DVD combo pack. This is the US release. Got a pretty fantastic cast in this. This is one of those films that has a pretty solid conflict to it, especially. The conflict in this one works really well. When his daughter goes missing in Thailand, a Hong Kong cop, played by Louis Koo, of course, teams up with the local police, Tony Jaa and Wu Yu, to find her, but instead finds himself embroiled in a web of corruption and violence in this explosive thriller from famed action director Wilson Yip, who did the Ip Man films and Killzone. And you get a making of and a trailer in this. But yeah, as you could tell, Tony Jaa makes an appearance, but he doesn't get a lot of screen time. He's only like a side character. But yeah, I did a review of this. Check it out. This is a good flick. It's kind of like action thriller hybrid, and it works. And it's got balls, too. So that's another good reason to watch it. I liked it. We get one with Jin Zhang here. The Brink. It's Sean Yu, it looks like there, too, right? Yeah, so you get making of and trailers on this too, and it's a fist start flying in this breakneck thriller starring Max Zhang, or Jin Zhang, and Wu Yu, where a renegade cop is on a mission to bring a shady smuggler to justice by any means necessary. When his investigation leads to a triad mob boss's global smuggling ring, his manhunt quickly turns from local misconduct into a violent international incident. Yeah, this movie had some good fight scenes, and there's one on like a boat in a huge rainstorm that's actually pretty sweet. It's pretty interesting. They had to have been a tough scene to shoot, for sure. And yeah, this is one. It's not like an instant classic movie, but it's certainly worth watching if you're into Hong Kong action movies. I'm trying to make sure if... Man, there's so many The Brink movies. I want to see what the other cast is. I'm missing someone here. I know there was more people in this. Sean Yu, yeah. No, that's about it. Oh, Yasuaki Kurata has a cameo. That's what I was looking up. All right. So, yes. Check it out. It's pretty good. Good stuff. Now, the next one... We're going to get into some movies here that I did not review on my channel. Especially the next one. Alright, this one... I bought it for one reason. And you could probably tell. Zoshun in Ming Ming. And if you've never heard of this film, there's a reason. I don't think that many people liked it. This is the Region 1 DVD, I believe. And Brink and Paradox are also the American releases. So this movie's kind of weird. Alright, it's a 2006 film. And it's not like a traditionally good film. Someone decided to have a music video director direct a movie. And you know, when that happens, sometimes you're going to get something that's pretty dodgy. It's style over substance. You have a woman and a man steal a bag full of cash in a mysterious box and then run from the triads. And then a doppelganger comes into play. Very odd, artsy feel to it. But there are some interesting visuals in it. I like how the movie looks. There's a few foot chase scenes and projectile attacks that are really stupid looking. So you'll probably laugh at those. Don't go into this expecting like an action movie. It's kind of like a drama with low-grade fights kind of just peppered in. The saving grace is Zoshun. I mean, let's be honest. She's up front and present the entire runtime. Phenomenal actress. And that's why I like watching this. There's something about this that it keeps me in it. And I've seen this like 3 times now over the past 15 or so years. I don't know. I just kind of like watching it once in a while. I just stare at Zoshun, watch her act amazingly. And, yeah, it works. It works. Alright, the next one is really interesting. I know I've mentioned it to a few people through messages. Heavy Arthouse film, but it's good quality. And then it's Crosscurrent. This is from the mainland China. 2016, It's kind of a drama romance. A woman tries to search for the meaning of life, and a man holds a book of poems while they travel on the longest river of mainland China. Main reason to watch this, again, heavy Arthouse. This is American Blu-ray Region A. The atmosphere is phenomenal in this. Like, if you want to detox and just like, it's almost like cinematic ASMR. It really is. There's like tons of shots in like the twilight or at dusk. Lots of fog and boats on the water, on the river. Lots of night shots as well. There's a decrepit stone village that gets showcased. There's some forests and cliffs. Very atmospheric, very relaxing, but also very art house. You know, the narrative is thin, but there is some stuff in this that'll make you think a little bit. You know, put a few pieces together. Definitely not for mainstream viewers at all. So be very careful with this. If you like, you know, slow art house films that are very atmospheric, I did enjoy this, though, quite a bit, I must admit. I was thinking about reviewing it. Maybe I will, because I think it's worth watching for people that are into this sort of thing. So we'll see about a review. Not really. Well, you get a trailer, a short film, and an essay from a scholar. So you get something. All right, we're back to a movie that I covered on the channel. It's another Blu-ray. And it's Diao Yinan's Black Coal Thin Ice. I reviewed this. It's got Kwai-Lin Mei. And again, she's really good in this. Let's see here. It's about a disgraced cop and his partner still seeking the truth behind the high-profile murders that ended their careers, because it seems the killer is at it again. This is more of a dramatic thriller. It's not like a high-octane thrill ride, but it's very good quality stuff. I know when I did my review, some people told me they watched it and really enjoyed it. You know, it's won some awards, obviously, and no special features, it looks like. But yeah, if you're, it's a cool flick, dude. Black Coal Thin Ice. All right, now we're into the Korean section. I got a few of them here. All right, we got two in a row from Hong Sang-soo, and I want to review both of them eventually. I probably will before the end of the year. Although I'm not sure if YouTube will like me reviewing the first one, just based on the title alone. I don't know if I could title a YouTube video this. Virgin stripped bare by her bachelors. So, well, the trailer's on YouTube, I checked. They didn't take the trailer down. So I don't know when they take my review down. This is 2000. This is going back 20 years, and it's a Korean romance film. And you get two men vie to sleep with a virgin in this film by Hong Sang-soo. It was shot in black and white during the winter months, or at least it seemed to be in the winter months. Gives a unique environment for a romance. The same series of events is played out twice from different perspectives with slightly different nuances in those scenes. And it's really nicely written and structured as a film. Yeah, it probably holds the record for the most makeout sessions that I've seen in a movie, so be prepared for that. And it's a full 2 hours. It does drag a little bit, but I think this is one of this director's most interesting films. And it has a very realistic feel to it. Yes, so I definitely recommend this. This is a good flick. The DVD's kind of, it's kind of a lower grade DVD, but it does the job. Hopefully something like this I could find on Blu-ray at some point in the future. But yeah, it's good. Another Region 1 DVD of a Hong Sang-soo movie. And it's another one of my personal favorites from him, Oki's Movie. Now, did you notice, like, most of the movies I have that aren't action movies, or even ones that do, have really strong female leads. If you look at a lot of the ones I've already covered. Very strong actress in the lead role. Especially in a movie that's kind of like a romance. This is kind of like a low-key romantic comedy. And dialogue is interesting. Humor is low-key but effective. Both leads are very good. This is Jung Yoo-mi is in this. And there are some interesting themes. There's like this theme of kind of the spreading of rumors in this film. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I really look forward to rewatching it. And I probably should do a review of this, too. I should cover more of this director's films in the future. Alright, the next two I've reviewed. This one's pretty freaking crazy. The Treacherous. Yeah, The Treacherous. This is almost kind of like a Korean version of Caligula, but it's not quite as violent. But this was really interesting. Really interesting. I should have bought this years ago. I don't know why I waited for so long. Because when I reviewed it, I mentioned it was a pretty interesting flick. The year is 1504, midpoint of Joseon Dynasty. Upon tyrannical King Yun-sang-gun's order, his subjects are dispatched all over the country to find the most beautiful women who will entertain the king. Yeah, so this gets pretty crazy, this flick. But it's good, though. I thought it was good, man. Really pretty cool stuff. If you want something that's maybe a little edgy, but also pretty interesting, you can tell it gets pretty sultry at times. But yeah, this is good. The Treacherous. Let me get another one here. The Witch, Part 1, The Subversion. I've reviewed this, and I'm pretty sure they're in pre-production maybe on the second one. I know they decided to make it, and it's coming up hopefully soon. A young girl lives with her adoptive parents after they found her alone in the woods and near death. When strange people start appearing in her life, she falls into turmoil as her seemingly ordinary life turns upside down in a blink of an eye. So it's kind of a thriller-action hybrid. There's not a lot of action in it, but it's nicely shot. It's got a good lead performance. Good performances overall, actually. And when the action hits, it's fun, and it's pretty intense. I like this one. I actually like the story of it as well. And if they make a sequel, it would be nice to maybe infuse a little bit more action and go kind of balls to the wall. That would be really cool. Yeah, I always forget this director's name. Park Hoon-jung. So we've been covering him a lot on this channel, and this is another one of his films that's worth watching. Yeah, usually my Korean purchases are usually a little bit smaller than my Japanese and Hong Kong, typically because the stuff we get in the West sometimes is kind of limited on physical media, and in addition to that, the Region 3 Korean releases they go out of print like that, so they're kind of hard to find. But I keep adding, over time. So now we're in the Japanese portion now. And most of these films, at least the first handful, I have not reviewed. The Princess Blade, 2001. This is an action film. Has a satisfying amount of action. The middle section is a bit slow, but there's a cool slow motion gun scene and a good sword fight near the end. Yumiko Shaku, this actress, the reason why I like her is because she was in Sky High, and I love Sky High so much. But she's not like the best actress, even I'll admit that. But she can actually hold the screen well enough, and she can swing a sword fairly effectively. Cinematography is nice. The music's good. Some locations are pretty cool. It kind of plays out like a brainless actioner, but it's fun, and even it gets a little gritty in its violence at times as well. Hideaki Ito and Yoko Maki have supporting roles, and this was directed by Shinsuke Sato, who really became one of the more reliable Japanese directors of live-action manga adaptations. And the action design in this film was Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen did the action direction in the film, so it's worth watching for that as well. So this has actually a pretty nice group of filmmakers behind it, and people really never talk about it. This actually has good extras. You got 2 discs, the making of Princess Blade, special effects documentary, interviews with the cast and staff, action director Donnie Yen on the action in the film, so you get an interview with him on his action design, behind the scenes, deleted scenes, and outtakes. So, yeah, this is a fun movie. You know, and I could see myself watching it more often into the future. The Princess Blade. This is a DVD release, of course. Actually, I think every single film I'm going to cover for the rest of the video are DVD releases. So just so you know. Alright, now the next handful of films I bought mostly because Ray from Asian Man Ray recommended a bunch of these on his channel like last year. And he was covering some lists, like recommendation lists that he did. So shout out to Ray, because I enjoyed basically all of the movies I'm about to show you here that I basically blind bought because he recommended them. So yes, good recommendations on Ray's channel. So the first one here is Cafe Funiculi Funicula. And some of these films you probably have never heard of. 2018. It's a drama romance. There's a special cafe with a special table that allows the occupant to travel back in time with certain limitations, of course. Most of the characters are developed enough to be impactful in this. It's well acted, emotionally resonant. It's a little melodramatic, but it mostly avoids getting too carried away in that. I like how the film actually does have some consequences, and it does not break its own rules, with the exception of maybe a little loophole here and there. But it's well written. Most of it does take place within a coffee shop as well, so you may want a cup of coffee in hand while watching it, because you will crave coffee watching this. Region 3 DVD with subtitles. I don't think there's really any special features. But yeah, this is a good flick. Good flick. Some of these I might end up reviewing at some point, either later this year or early next year. I think most of these I bought on eBay, actually, was where I bought a lot of these. They're like the Region 3 Hong Kong releases, I think, of Japanese movies. Next one was also pretty interesting, kind of intense. The House Where the Mermaid Sleeps. This one's pretty intense. 2018 film, a drama. A marriage is on the rocks, and it gets worse when the daughter becomes comatose after a swimming pool accident, and the parents need to make the decision whether or not they want to end her life or keep her alive despite no chance of recovery. That's the plot in this. So it gets pretty freaking intense. There's some pretty interesting conversations in this, especially in terms of how Japan handles this particular situation differently from other countries. So it's interesting from a cultural standpoint. It explores the pros and cons of using cutting-edge technology on this girl, even though she has no hope of recovery. And it was directed by Yukihiko Tsutsumi, who's done a whole bunch of stuff over the years. You know, definitely the Trick television series is what a lot of people know him for. And 2LDK as well. So yeah, this was a good drama. Good drama. Maybe not super easy to sit through given the content, but it's good. Hana's Miso Soup, 2015, a drama. This one's definitely lighter than House Where the Mermaid Sleeps, but it still has some heft to it, as you'll see. A young woman with cancer, played by Ryoko Hirosue, is faced with a difficult choice of risking her own life or ending the pregnancy for which she has yearned. So this is kind of like a basic melodrama with a decent script. This is a little weaker than the films we've covered, the past few we've covered. And the male lead is a little bit weak in this. Female lead is good, male lead is a little weak. But the second half is pretty impactful, and there's some good interactions with the little daughter and stuff like that. A good enough movie overall. It is a good enough movie overall, but it's not quite as good as the ones I just covered. And again, these are all Region 3 DVDs, no special features. It's good. Got another one that's kind of an oddball film. An oddball film from Japan? Nah, that wouldn't happen. Destiny, The Tale of Kamakura, 2017, kind of a fantasy drama. Our main character is a mystery novelist who lives in a town that is inhabited by humans and creatures, aka God. They're like creature gods, kind of. But the story is kind of difficult to summarize. It's difficult to summarize. Very odd movie. It does meander around a little bit. It kind of like it's kind of deliberately paced and just kind of slowly explores this little kind of world building that is done. But it does hit its stride during the second half. It becomes more purely entertaining then. The fantasy romance finale I thought was pretty neat in this. So again, one of those, if you feel like something a little different, Destiny's a pretty neat little movie. Maybe watch the trailer or something on YouTube to get a better idea of what it's like. Yeah, it's good. Now the next one is one that I was happy to find because it's kind of hard to find. And I watched this one like 10 years ago. I watched it about 10 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. But I still haven't rewatched it, despite having purchased the DVD. So we got I Have to Buy New Shoes. That's the name of this. I Have to Buy New Shoes. And it is a romance film from 2012. After being ditched by his sister in Paris, a young photographer meets an older freelance writer who offers to be his tour guide. And it's this one is like really purely entertaining. Finds its rhythm very quickly. I really like the direction and the music in this. Chemistry between the leads is really strong. Performances are really strong. The sparks fly in this one. And it's dialogue heavy, but it's peppered with laid-back humor as well. Surprisingly absorbing and very romantic. I remember really enjoying this. I probably would like to review it, but if it's not available anywhere, I might skip it. That's kind of how I do things. But yeah, it's worth checking out. I really enjoyed it. Here's another recommendation from Ray. Bento Harassment, 2019, a drama comedy. So wishing to open up another line of communication with her rebellious teenage daughter, a single mother begins creating embarrassingly sweet messages in her lunchbox meals, in her bento. The foods are pretty cute, tasty looking. I'd like to eat some of these meals. I like the mother-daughter relationship in this. The daughter's temperamental, but appreciative. She becomes more appreciative of her mother over time. Very brightly lit, takes place on a small island in Japan, so it's it's got some nice natural environments to it as well. It's a very charming little movie here. If you're in the mood for a charming film that doesn't get too heavy, check out Bento Harassment if you have the opportunity. And I'll keep an eye on the availability of these. If some of these hit streaming or something like Amazon or Netflix, maybe I'll prioritize them for a review. It's good. Again, another Region 3 release. Here's another interesting one. Oh, I didn't put notes for this one. Shoot. But I think I remembered enough. The Lies She Loved. The Lies She Loved. Now in this one, you got Masami Nagasawa, fantastic actress. She was the ideal to which women aspire. A career-focused woman who works for a beverage manufacturer, has been living with her boyfriend, dependable medical researcher, for 5 years. One night she receives a sudden visit from the police. Her man is collapsed by some type of physical event, and it's discovered that in his driver's license, his medical license were falsified, and even his profession and name are lies. So it's basically her going on this kind of journey to figure out what to do with the situation and to figure out more about this guy that she wasn't entirely aware of. And it's pretty interesting. It almost plays out a little bit like a mystery too, along with like a romance. So I recommend this as well. Another one that I should probably review whenever I get the chance. Pretty neat little movie. Region 3 again. Alright, now the rest of these films I think are Region 1s. They're all US releases. Only got a handful left. It's kind of a long video, but who cares? Grab a drink. This is a big one. Memories of Matsuko from Tatsuya Nakashima. This one I only saw one time, about 15 years ago. I really enjoyed it. Very odd movie. It's a drama comedy musical. Yeah, it's pretty odd. And Nakashima has a very intense stylization to his films. And it's basically about a woman's hardships in life. It's very fresh and creative in its visuals and how the story is structured. Cinematography and set designs are very bright, almost fairy tale-like. Healthy dose of comedy at the beginning, but then the mood gets pretty serious later on. And there are some lovely musical interludes. The ending is moving, and it provides a nice wrap-up of the relationships that were established in the film. So yes, it's really neat, and I'm actually really looking forward to checking it out again. I am. Nakashima's a really good director. And this film's really good, and I don't even know if it would make my top 3 from Nakashima. Confessions, Kamikaze Girls I gotta put up there, and World of Kaneko. I would probably rank even higher than this. And this is a really good movie. So, I hope Nakashima makes another flick in the near future. It Comes was really good too, and that hasn't even gotten a US release yet, but someone needs to release that. So, very interesting to see what this director's going to do next. Anything this guy does is good, man. Very reliable. Alright, here's one that's obscure. Very obscure. But it's from a director that I've covered quite a bit, Shinobu Yaguchi, who is, pound for pound, the best director of comedies in the world of the last 20 years. Now, Japan could still make comedies, people. Can you believe that? I mean, how many great comedies came out in the U.S. the past handful of years? I mean, we can't laugh over here anymore. But they can still make some pretty banging comedies. But this is Adrenaline Drive. This is an early film from Yaguchi. It's from 1999, and it's a comedy. You get a guy and a girl decide to steal 200 million yen from the Yakuza, and it will not be easy. A different kind of like getaway movie. It's kind of a getaway movie, but it has an awkward tempo. It says Adrenaline Drive, but it's more deliberately paced than you might expect. There's like an aura of quaint humor to this. It never takes itself too seriously. And there are a healthy number of characters who vie for the cash, which keeps things interesting. It's a very good film from Yaguchi. And, if it's still available, maybe I'll consider reviewing this as well. It's pretty cool. I liked it. And it's an early film, so it's got Masanobu Ando in this as well. Good stuff. Adrenaline Drive. Very few people know about this film. All right, so the final 6 films that we're covering here, I've already reviewed on my channel. Already reviewed it. Crazy Lips. Yep. And this one gets pretty crazy. It does. Check out my review if you want details. You basically get remember this is Region 1 DVD. You get interviews with the director, writer, and producer, and a behind-the-scenes featurette. Satomi and her family are hounded by the press when her brother is accused of vicious killing sprees. Despite attempting to prove his innocence, Satomi goes to a psychic for help. So yes, this is pretty cool flick. I really like it. Very odd though, very odd. Crazy Lips, a genre bender to say the least. And then you get the companion piece, the Gore from Outer Space. Watch my review. I think I reviewed both of these in the same video, so it's really easy to get my thoughts on both of these. Again, Region 1 DVD, interviews with director, writer, and producer, behind-the-scenes featurette, and a short film. So just before being led to the electric chair for the murder of her daughter, Satomi tells her story to a nun, and it began with no one believing her story of the kidnapping of her daughter, and the police are called in to investigate. And then her husband tells them that they actually don't have a daughter. So you're trying to wonder, like, what the heck's going on? Is this lady crazy? What's going on here? And it's pretty interesting story. Maybe not quite as entertaining as Crazy Lips, but it's worth checking out as a double feature because it's like a similar director and there's some overlap between the films in terms of like actors and stuff. So another solid double feature here coming at you. Reviewed both of them. Onmyoji. Yes, Onmyoji. This is the DVD. During the Dark Age of Demons and Ghosts, in the Heian period, which is from 794 to 1185 AD, the Emperor relies upon the Imperial Order of the Onmyoji, who are the experts of the supernatural power, to protect the kingdom. And there's political intrigue and betrayal and stuff like that. Again, watch my review if you want details. Very unique type of film. There's not a lot of films like this. And it's worth checking out. Really neat. I really enjoyed it. A little odd for maybe some Western viewers, though, that aren't, kind of into this type of stuff. You get a making of, staff interviews, special ending, trailers and TV spots, and some filmographies. There's a booklet inside as well. And get to the sequel, Onmyoji 2. This is also quite good. Yep, mysterious and bloody incidents ensue after the solar eclipse in the capital of Heian. Devils rampage through the capital at night and attack members of the nobility, each of whom has a body part bitten off. And we follow our main character again in the second film. I find these films to be pretty charming and good quality. You get a making of, theatrical and promo trailers, and some filmography info. Keeping the weirdo train going. Keeping the weird train going. Mushi-Shi the movie. I did a review of it. Check out my review. Joe Odagiri here. And set in the turn of the century Japan, the film tells the story of Ginko, a mushi master who studies strange, iridescent creatures that can't be seen by ordinary men. And he goes village by village and he helps people who are being negatively affected by these creatures. It's got some pretty interesting visuals. The lead actor is very strong, obviously. You get deleted extended scenes, Mushi-Shi premieres, original trailer, and coming attractions. So yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I liked it. Check out my review. And finally, our final film of the night, Gojoe from Sogo Ishii. This movie is pretty badass. I really enjoyed it. A lot of period pieces to end the video. I didn't do it on purpose, really. Oh, the back is in Japanese, so I can't read the... I'll check out my review. It's the limited edition. This is a U.S. release, but... Oh, it's an all region, that's why. Okay. But yeah, this is just a badass, like, fantasy sword play with some spell casting. And, like, the dudes in this movie, they just look and act like badasses. It's cool, man. It's a very cool movie. I really like this. Tadanobu Asano, Masatoshi Nagase. Yeah. So check it out and check out my review. And that's it. That's it. It's pretty good. And I'm still behind on my collections from the past, like, year and a half. So there'll be another one. Actually, I'm going to do a big one in October with all my horror pickups from the past year. That's going to be a big video. So we'll do that in October for the horror ones. That'll probably be the next one that I do. So yeah, pretty good haul. And definitely check out some of the parts of this playlist previously, because you'll get a lot of recommendations. I try to say a little bit about each film, so at least you'll have an idea if you're going to like it or not. But as always, I will see you next time.